And we had the worst credit rating in the country. We're dead last. I think we were tied with Puerto Rico, actually. We had no pension fund. We had no cash management system. We had no cash. And I got to be state treasurer. I've been a vocal advocate for a fair and well-functioning tax system ever since that day, and I still am. One way to achieve this goal is by making sure that the taxpayers don't have to jump through hoops to file their taxes. The IRS Free File program was established, as you know, for this very purpose, to help low and middle-income families file their taxes easily and without unnecessary fees. However, the program has not lived up to its potential, as you know. In recent years, Free File has faced a number of challenges. They include the withdrawal from the program of major providers, deceptive marketing from providers, and a low participation rate among eligible taxpayers. A recent GAO report, one that I actually requested, recommends that the IRS work with relevant stakeholders to develop additional options for free online filing of tax returns. My question is this: what steps should we here in the Congress and the IRS take to improve accessible and affordable tax filing options for the American people?
So let me say that I totally agree with you that filing taxes can be costly, complicated, and time-consuming for American families. And there's a study that shows it takes 17 hours on average and costs about $230 to complete a tax return. And it's very worthwhile, and we are exploring options to reduce these burdens. On top of that, I'd like to add what's also important for American families is to be able to access payments that they're entitled to, whether it's the EITC or child tax credits or economic impact payments. That's another way in which they interact with the IRS, and it's important that we make tools available that make that easy and get those payments to the families that are entitled to them. But, you know, the fundamental problem we have here is that the IRS is just horrendously under-resourced. I think it's miraculous that
Would you say that again? Say that one. That bears repeating. Just say it again.
The IRS is horrendously under-resourced. It has fewer staff than it had, I believe, 40 years ago. And our economy has grown in size. It's operating with technology from the 1960s, using a programming language that is archaic and is no longer taught in any school in the country. And it doesn't have the resources it needs. And the pandemic was a huge hit to it, left it with a huge backlog of returns and information that had to be processed that is really top priority. We then asked it to get out 3 different economic impact payments, child tax payments on a monthly basis, and it's amazing that they were able to do it. So I think this is important. We're looking at it. I agree this is something that the IRS needs to do. But if we want to ask it to do these things, given all the other burdens, we really have to, and I think it should be very high priority for Congress to give the IRS the resources it needs, not to mention closing the tax gap.
I'm Tom Carper, and I approve this message. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
One second question, short one. Secretary Yellen, how can common sense reforms to estate and gift taxes make our tax code fair and more fiscally responsible?
I believe there are loopholes there that should be closed. We put out a number of proposals relating to estate and gift taxation in the Green Book, and we're exploring ideas where we believe that we can curtail some techniques that are used that we can do under existing authority. Agree with you. That's an area to be scrutinized
I'm
carefully.
going to ask you to respond more fully in writing, but thank you for that initial response. And again, thank you for joining us today and for your work.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Senator
sir.
Carper. Senator Langford's next.